Hi, everyone. Steve Adubato. We kick off the program with Maura Collinsgru, who is Director of Policy and Advocacy at New Jersey Citizen Action. Good to see you, Maura.
Good to see you, Steve. Thanks for having me.
You got it. And we're going to put up the website of Citizen Action, an organization that's been doing important work for a long time. Tell everyone what the organization is about.
Citizen Action, we're celebrating 40 years this year. We deliver direct services to low and moderate income New Jerseyans across the state. We have a range of direct service programs as well as policy and advocacy to help improve the economic and racial disparities that exist still in the state of New Jersey.
So I want to zero in on one of these areas. As we were prepping, our producers put some great notes together, and one of the areas that jumped off the page for me was this whole issue having to do with auto insurance rates in the state. Talk about injustice, talk about disparities. Is it fair to say, is it accurate to say that if someone who happens to be white, who happens to be wealthy, who happens to be well-educated in a certain community, compared to someone who has a good credit, in another community that doesn't have the same education, but one person has a DUI, the other person has never had a DUI, but because of their education level and what other factors you're going to share with us, one's rate, the DUI driver, is lower than, am I making any sense of it? Am I screwing this whole thing up or what?
Well, you're not, and it's really a surprising reality once you learn about it. Consumer Reports, who we've been working with for a number of years on a variety of consumer issues, issued a report recently that demonstrated that people with poor credit pay on average more than people with higher credit and potential drunk driving convictions. We have a system—
For auto insurance.
For auto insurance, correct. We allow here in the state of New Jersey auto premiums to be set using factors that are not related to your driving, such as education, occupation, credit score, even marital status. And those factors really become a proxy for income, because what we know is that across the state, across the country, actually, the most recent census data backs this up, is that, whites have college degrees at around 40%. The numbers for Blacks and Latinos are much lower. So if a white driver has better education and hence a better paying job than someone—
a better credit rating.
And a better credit rating from someone who has a high school diploma and works in an occupation that pays less, and hence their credit score may not be as strong, their auto insurance is costing them more simply because of those factors. That is something that is just outright discriminatory. And what we have said is, now that we've realized that this is going on, I don't think it was planned when New Jersey revamped their insurance, auto insurance, many years ago. But now that we know it exists, it's a problem we must fix. We can't turn a blind eye to this.
I'm sorry, Maura, I'm sorry for interrupting. Be specific. Is there legislation that actually would bar insurers from using that criteria, which de facto winds up being discriminatory towards certain people, disproportionately people of color?
Yes, there is. And in June, the legislature passed a bill that raised the mandatory minimums that have existed for a long time in liability insurance. So drivers are going to have to carry higher minimum liability limits come this January. As part of that, we asked the legislature and the governor, when the bill passed, to please incorporate the ban on these discriminatory factors. That didn't happen. There is a standalone bill. Its prime sponsor is Senator Nia Gill. It's supported and co-sponsored by Senator Poe, Senator Ruiz, Senator Cruz Perez.
Where are we then? Again, in the interest of time, where is the governor on this? Again, we're taping on the 20th of September. We'll be seeing later. Where are we with this?
Well, we've had the assurance of the Senate president. We had a meeting with them yesterday, and they are looking into the issue. They are, of course, talking to the industry. The industry is trying to say that these factors do, in fact, impact. And they are also saying that there's a concern that rates could go up. And as well,
for whom?
I use myself as an example. As an older white woman who graduated college just 10 years ago, I saw my insurance go down when I graduated college. Now, I had been driving for decades. My driving habits, my driving record, my residence, nothing had changed. But because of that—
Except the fact you had a college degree.
Correct.
So I want to understand something. I'm sorry, just managing time here. I'm sorry. So I want to be clear. You said you met with them, and I want to get into the weeds here, but you're talking about the staff of the Senate President, Nick Scutari.
Correct.
You met with that staff. As we speak right now, toward the end of September, the bill is not posted in the state Senate. Is that correct?
That's correct. They have just begun their session again, but we have asked that the bill be posted without delay.
And the insurance industry has taken the position, and I don't want to be unfair, and we'll have a representative from that side as well. They're saying that college education, credit rating, and your job impacts your ability to avoid being in an accident and your driving record?
Yes. In essence, that's what they are saying, that these are valid things that are predictive of claim and driving. And, you know, we can't allow, basically, we are allowing low-income Black and brown drivers to subsidize the discounts that upper-income people with college-educated white drivers living in zip codes that are not majority zip codes of color to be subsidized by lower-income Black and brown drivers.
But Maura, I want to be clear on this, and I have obviously fall into the category that you just described. That being said, I thought your zip code was not a legal criteria to determine auto insurance rates.
Zip code can, in fact, be used, but what's happening is that these other factors are being used. So, for instance, there are things like—
I have a few seconds left. Go ahead.
Yeah, there are things like a density of where you live and things like that that could impact your auto insurance rates. But the socioeconomic factors that we are using are outright discriminatory based upon the fact that Black and brown drivers, people of color, do not have access to the things that white drivers do, and they need to be banned. We cannot come up with an excuse why we need to preserve these for the profits of insurance companies.
Maura, first of all, I want to thank you for joining us to talk about this important issue, but in the spirit of quote-unquote fairness, and hearing all sides of a complex issue, I'll ask our producers to book a representative from the auto insurance industry to make the case as to why these factors are relevant. Maura, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, and let's hope we can fix this problem soon.
Well said. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Valley Bank, the New Jersey Education Association, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Community Food Bank of New Jersey, Hackensack Meridian Health, New Jersey Sharing Network, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, and by Johnson & Johnson. Promotional support provided by Insider NJ, and by NorthJersey.com and Local IQ, part of the USA Today network.
I'm Tim Sullivan, CEO of the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Since joining the NJEDA, I've been struck by the incredible assets and resources that New Jersey has to offer. The NJEDA is working every day to grow New Jersey's economy in a way that maximizes the values of those assets to benefit every single New Jersey resident. This includes more support for small businesses and a focus on reclaiming New Jersey's position as a leader in the innovation economy. Visit njeda.com to learn more about how NJEDA is building a stronger and fairer New Jersey economy.